You're not paying per request when you use AI. You're paying per token. And tokens aren't words, which means your AI bill is probably higher than you think. If you're building anything with language models, or even if you're just using them a lot, this is the one concept that explains where your money is going. So in this video, I'm going to break down what a token is, why it's not the same as a word, and how it directly impacts cost. A token is a chunk of text. It could be a full word, part of a word, punctuation, and even spaces. So for example, take the sentence, "A small change can make a significant difference." Up until we get to the word significant, each individual word could be considered a token. However, the word significant and the word difference have both been split, resulting in a total of 2 tokens for each word. One thing to keep in mind here, however, is that different models split text differently. So if we go back to our sentence, it may be the case that a different model splits the word significant like this and the word difference like that. So one sentence is not one unit of cost, it's multiple. Short words are usually 1 token. However, long or complex words could be multiple tokens. So if we take the word cat, for example, which would be considered to be a short word, this is most likely going to result in just 1 token. But a word like extraordinary, well, that word is longer, and therefore this is likely to be split into multiple tokens. So when you think you're sending 100 words, you may be sending more than 150 tokens. You're paying for both what you send to the model, which are considered input tokens, and then also what the model generates, which are going to be output tokens. For example, the sentence, "Explain what a token is in simple terms," could be assumed to be roughly 11 tokens, whereas the explanation that gets generated from the model is roughly going to be maybe 28 tokens, more or less. The bottom line, you just paid for both sides of that conversation. Longer prompts means more tokens. Longer responses means more tokens. And longer interactions also means more tokens. So for example, if the prompt that you send a language model results in 500 tokens, and then its response results in getting back 500 tokens, that makes a total of 1,000 tokens for a single interaction. And you might be thinking, okay, that's not a lot. And I honestly agree with you, because you're only thinking about things in terms of one user. However, when we scale this to thousands of users, especially for those of you who are creating apps that has language models integrated in some way, shape, or form, whereas the end user interacts with the language model or the language model is performing some sort of task, scale that to 1,000 users, and now this really matters. Some of the prompting tips you may have seen or read online or even heard about can also result in more tokens. For example, phrases like "make it more detailed" or "add examples." These phrases both result in more tokens despite the prompt itself being relatively short. This also goes for long system prompts, which define the agent's behavior. The added detail itself can be helpful, but the additional detail in the prompt also results in more tokens. So one thing to note here is that long system prompts results in repeated tokens, which results in more tokens. So remember, every extra word has a cost, even if you don't notice it. Tokens are the unit of cost for AI models. So if you understand tokens, then you understand your AI bill. In the next video, I'm going to show you something that most people don't realize. You see, every time you chat with a language model, you're sending more than just your message. And that's where costs can really start to add up.